Batman, on a level, you could be the greatest individual in football history.
We are back with another video. A trophy. That's how we're starting things. Because Manchester United have won 4-0. This guy is so shameless. On my life. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. But anyway, let's start with Ty then. Ty, how are you doing?
Wow. 12th of July, sorry. I just, I want to just take a few moments to, thank the fans, thank the people that have stuck by me through this tough time. I've had a lot of tweets, I've had a lot of abuse, and yeah, man, I just, I'm glad to share this beautiful stage with two beautiful people, and we know who the man of the match was, and we know who's running from the halfway line and dinking keepers, and it's just, I've been waiting.
I can't lie, man of the match was Sancho, innit?
I'm happy, man. Martial and Sancho, I've been praying for times like this, and let's enjoy the show. People like and subscribe. Man United 4, Bumboys 0, Darwin Noodles doing nothing, Antony Martial doing something. That's how it is.
Shameless, but don't worry, we will carry that on.
You couldn't have said it any better,
man,
bro.
Man, come on, look, stop.
No, I can't lie. I was gassed for you. When Martial scored. But I can't lie, Sancho was still my man of the match, innit? Like, I thought Sancho...
Both of them played really well. Do you know what? Let me quickly say, because we're going to have a sick show, man. Big up everyone that's just locked over from Trafford Tunnel. Shout out Saeed and Aaron that come on mine as well. But I don't want Manchester United fans to say, Sancho's better than Martial. Martial's better. This is what we've done with players for ages. Just appreciate two good players playing together, playing very well. They were both good.
Why couldn't you appreciate Ronaldo?
Even Hadji, and this is for Hadji as well. Hadji saying, yeah, but Sancho's better. It's like, bro, why can't you just say both were very good? It was good to see today. You get what I'm saying? And that's what I want Man United fans to do. Don't start playing Sancho versus Martial. We don't need that. So they're both sick, man. I'm so happy.
This year, don't worry. We'll get onto De Gea because you see my tweet on De Gea. That's giving credit where credit is due. So you should learn, but we'll get onto it. We'll get onto that. But anyway, 4-0. 4-0.
4-0 FC,
I'll be honest.
bro.
I did expect us to win. Because I was like, I think United have had like a week longer in training and stuff compared to Liverpool, innit? So it's like, I expected to win, but the last 30 minutes surprised me in terms of those players kind of hung in. But the entire game, like the first 30 minutes, we were very, very good, especially going forward. Obviously, defensively, we'll touch on, but going forward, the front four looked very, very good. I thought, like you said it before, Martial was good, Sancho was good. Bruno Fernandes, I know a lot of people don't rate him. I thought was very, very good today. And Rashford, he probably should have done better, slightly better. Kind of did let me down, but he should have scored as well, innit? That chance he had. Well, what did you make of the front four?
Yeah, do you know what? The front four for me, man, that first half was brilliant. Like, we've not seen that since probably COVID restart. The interlinking, they've just got the chemistry there between them. And, we didn't see Bruno in that role as much last season, further up the field, and just keeping it simple as well, man. One touch out of the foot, get it out, keep it moving. And we saw a lot of movement as well, and it was good to see. And let's just hope, man, this is a kickstart of something good.
Do you know what it is? Well, yeah, because even Biz, sorry, Biz, I missed your call. I know you're ringing me probably excited at the 4-0. But what's it called? Like, I think what Biz touched on there, and I think Statman, do you know what? You summed it up perfectly. I think out of all of them, Rashford could have shown a bit more, but we'll talk about Rashford in a bit more detail later on. But in terms of the positives, for me, Martial and Sancho to be back playing together, having that IQ, having that ball retention, I thought they worked really well together. And I think where you touched on Bruno and said, like Biz said, getting further forward, I don't think it's actually a case of Bruno being further forward. For me, I'm going to be honest, Bruno and Ronaldo played together last season, and we quite saw that it just didn't quite work. It didn't quite blend. One thing about Martial, which he's great at, is coming into the pockets, holding the ball, linking it up and doing all them little bits in the sort of the number 10 role, you could say. However, he's actually down on the team sheet as a number 9. But because he can do that, he then allows Bruno, they kind of swap. It's like Martial comes in as the number 10 and then Bruno goes in as the number 9. And they kind of confuse teams because then they're changing positions and sort of interlinking all the time. And that's what I just felt like Bruno had today. Every time he plays in Martial, he feels more confident. Sancho feels more confident because he knows he's going to get the balls on the give and goes. And then Rashford, he kind of is that Heung-min Son, whereas yes, it didn't work out today. And I think he did struggle out of all of them. But he gives us that X factor where he's going to go beyond the gap whereas you've got Sancho, Martial, and Bruno that can sort of do the link-up play. I just think as a blend, this is very fluid, and I believe that for a first start, and I don't want to get gassed. I get it. Liverpool had a poor first team out in the first half, but you can only beat who's in front of you. Now, if you said to me, guys, we win 3-0 at half time, I'm biting your hand off. Sancho, a great finish. We've needed confidence from him. He actually strikes the ball instead of maybe passing it across the box. Martial doesn't get the ball from 20 yards out. He gets the ball from the halfway line nearly by pressing, pinching the ball back. Brilliant to see. Then he has the confidence to go through and dink the keeper. So, like, for me, it's a mixture of everything from the front four that impressed me today. And even with Bruno, none of that hoofing the ball, just keeping it simple. Because even Aaron just said, Saeed said to me on my show just now, Bruno was quiet. I said, yeah, but he was quiet. But it was a good quiet because he kept the ball. He was effective. He was using the ball right. He was running into the right areas. So, yeah, you can be quiet in terms of not looking as glowing on the eye, but you're effective in what you're doing. I'm really happy with the front four in that first 45 minutes, that man and Biz. I really am.
Make sure you guys like the video as well, because listen, positivity. But I wanted to talk on Sancho in it, because let's be honest, yesterday we kind of did know Sancho was going to play on the right after we saw all like the videos come out and stuff, innit? Which that's initially what we bought him for. And I thought, okay, let's see how this goes, because I was like, Sancho, he normally starts the season slow. Like, you know, with Jadon Sancho in it. Like, it just takes a couple games to really get into the season, even at Borussia Dortmund. So I was like, I don't know how Sancho's going to do, but fair play to Sancho. Like, he gave us everything. He gave the fans something to be excited of, like that X factor in terms of like some of his touches. Like when he did that Neymar touch thing, come on, man. It was great to see, kind of thing, innit? And let's see how he does on the right hand side now.
Biz?
Yeah, man. Yo, seeing Sancho, what he done today, bro, it's just, you know, we didn't really get to see that as much last season. And I think it was just down to just obviously confidence as well. And obviously, like Statman saying, it always takes him like a few games to get into. But watching the training sessions, obviously, yesterday they had the open session and the other sessions I've seen with him, man, he looks like he's coming trim, ready to go. And, you know, like, I just feel like, and now obviously, like working off Martial today, obviously, like Martial led the line perfect today as a number 9 should. It was just a perfect link for him now on that right hand side. Obviously, he got his goal coming off the left, but just the interlink from the front three, and obviously linking up with Bruno is just, you know, let's. I'm just hoping, innit?
There was that pass. That Bruno, I think, it was like a half
volley thing. Yeah.
Sancho on the right, and I was like, rah, flipping, like they all looked very good, very good. I think. What do you think of the midfield in the first half, Fred and McTominay? Because, don't get me wrong, I know Fred scored, but there was a point I think before he scored, we went in the group and it was like, is Fred really playing well?
Yeah, man. Obviously, there was that counter attack in it when it was just that final pass. Once again, he just under hit, man. But do you know what? Yeah, I give them the benefit of the doubt, innit? Like they do work hard in it for the team, and they always put a shift in. And like, there's many times when they are getting them like important interceptions in, breaking up play, but it's always like the second touch, bro. It's always just them tackling themselves. It's just, it's a key area, bro, that we seriously need to upgrade. And you know, like if we can obviously just get De Jong over the line and maybe another centre midfielder to go next to him, you can just see this team excelling. But you know that first half, I mean, it was just an ordinary McFred performance, to tell you the truth. But you know, there's obviously they're always going to have room for improvement. For me, man, them two are just squad players at best, man. Obviously, give it like Fred the benefit of the doubt that finish was beautiful, innit? But
sensational.
We're not going to see that week in, week out from him, are we? You know what I mean? So squad rotation, man. And obviously, we're going to get into the second half team, but like just watching Zidane and Savage, bro, just seeing them two confident, coming, calling for the ball in tight positions as well. Like, yo, it was beautiful to see, brother. We didn't get much of the ball in the second half. Obviously, we sat back and wait, but them two just look confident on taking the ball. Like majority of the times, McFred, they're just man marking themselves. They're not willing to just get out there and be proactive. It's always like on a reaction thing where Zidane and Savage today really took charge, man. And to be fair, man, them two need to kind of watch out, bro, man, because them two youths, bro, man, they could be on the doorstep, man.
You know what, Big? I think that's a Go on, Baines. I'll go after.
Now, I was going to say, it was like this quickly, and Martial, apologies. Martial was very, very good today, innit? But no one questions Martial's ability. Consistency is a massive thing with Martial.
Yeah.
Come back to me in October, because if Martial's performing like this until October, then I'm going to say fair play to Antony Martial, innit? Like, you can't fault
It's
the guy.
motivation, innit? It's motivation. That's what it is.
But he looked motivated today. He looked hungry. Like winning the ball back for that goal is something you don't normally see from Martial. Like he looked determined. He got man of the match. He looks happy. We know he's a confidence player. The ability's there. We just want consistency. And I'm buzzing because I feel like this is the manager that in the world football right now gets the best out of him. We've got him. Ten Hag, Van Gaal. Look at what Van Gaal did. He's a coach, Dutchman. We've got another one with Ten Hag now. We know what he can do. Get your likes in, people, as well, by the way.
Yeah, make sure you guys like the video. But I think for me, it's kind of like, as much as I'm gassed, it's kind of like, it's one game. It's one game. Like, you know how gassed we were on the Rouse first game, innit? The first, 20 minutes against Palace, we were running.
Nah, do you know what? This was better. This was better.
I know this is better, innit? But in terms of, certain people thought we were going to win the Champions League after that. And then look at us kind of thing, innit? Which is why I'm like,
I don't know.
As much as I'm happy with his performance, there's still a lot of work to do. And we'll talk about the negatives or the things that need to be worked on. Because my first thing was, in the first half, defensive transitions. I feel like we did get caught out a couple
times. Can I just touch on one thing before you move on? So, you and Bill are talking about the midfield. And I was just saying to Said and Aaron, that I'm kind of, it's mad that we've won 4-0, and I get it was a brilliant performance, but I'm kind of glad the midfield didn't play so well in McTominay and Fred, because I feel like if they did play so well, it might make the board think, do you know what? No, we don't need to invest in midfielders because look what you've got. I kind of feel like I'm really happy the front four excelled, but then the midfield was a bit at times, because in the first 10 minutes, we were getting overran, as we know, in transition. And I think one thing for me, which I noticed massively today, which I think Ten Hag's going to find out pretty quick, when you've got McTominay and Fred, like our goals, they're good at pressing and quickly pinching the ball back. Me and Biz were talking about it earlier, pinching the ball back, Fred, giving it 10 yards, and then we're on the springing on the counter attack. But when we've got the ball, and it's like, right, De Gea, Varane, we start the attack up. You know that McTominay and Fred can't turn and hit players on a half turn, or are not confident enough to get the ball back to goal to start attacks. So I feel like when we're like pressing quickly, they're great triggers because they win the ball back and then we can go on the attack quickly. But in terms of us having the ball and saying, right, De Gea, you've got to start the attack, go to the midfield. We can't go from A to B to C with McTominay and Fred. Getting De Jong, who can get the ball off the back four and then turn and transition, we need a midfielder in. So I'm kind of happy that, yes, we won, but they can't do that. Fred and McTominay can't do it. Big up, Dan.
Obviously not to the level yet, but you think Zidane did that quite well in the second half?
I'll be honest with you, I'm really impressed. My favourite youngster today. I know Pellistri scored. I know Ahmad, looked a bit lightweight. Charlie Savage kept it simple. Could not complain about him at all. I wouldn't say anything wrong with him. But in terms of Zidane Bell, what I loved, right, and big up the Asian community as well, because this is great for them. I know Usman will be buzzing about it. But in terms of Zidane Iqbal, I think for me, it's the confidence to say, give me that ball. He was everywhere, getting the ball off the back four, getting the ball in the centre circle, twisting, turning. Yes, he might have held on to it for a bit too long, but that comes with lack of maturity and playing senior football. But he believes in himself. I really like it. He's press resistant, believes in himself. He can take the ball past players and he can get the ball off the back four. So I'm not going to say he's a number 6. I think he's like a perfect number 8. But in terms of the first game under Ten Hag, he came on when, Salah, Fabinho, Thiago on the pitch. He isn't playing when they had the youngsters on in the first half. So to keep him, and carry himself like that, I've got to say Zidane Iqbal, big fair play to you, because I think you've gone into Ten Hag's notebook, man.
Make sure you guys like the video as well, because my thing with Zidane Iqbal as well, it was, I think, the reports where he was potentially going to go on loan in January, innit, now, to Preston potentially, because obviously apparently he did like some work experience there or something, innit? I don't know how it works with footballers, but those were the reports, innit? So, like, say, for example, now in pre-season he impresses, which he already clearly has. Apparently the coaches have been very, very impressed with him, according to the stuff we read, I think, by the Athletic. I think Laurie reported it. Like, this is only a good thing. And let's be honest, we're still in the Europa League. Like, Zidane Iqbal will get minutes in the Europa League if he stays, which is 100%. A positive. And clearly there's a manager that believes in him now.
Do you know what the craziest thing about Zidane as well? Like, when I first started watching him, he was kind of playing off the wing and off the left. And the few times I see him under the under 23s last season, because he was early in the team sporadically, he didn't really get a long run in of games. He was playing in a free. and especially the Europa in the obviously the Champions League, Youth Champions League. He played in a free with Medbury
Charlie Savage
and
and
Medbury, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then obviously majority of the other times, obviously, has either been with Hanley or Sivetsky as well. So it was crazy to see him play in a double pivot today, and he just didn't look out of place, and he's really excelling, man. And you know, I kind of thought he was the one that maybe might get a couple minutes on preseason, but will probably get a loan move. But do you know what? If he keeps this up, man, it could be an opportunity for him.
100%.
Facts. But I think only time will tell with Zidane. But obviously, let's talk about the negatives now. Not negatives, but like stuff that United can improve. Because I said it, like someone said, Ten Hag said there were loads of mistakes, and he's right. My first thing quickly was just a defensive transition thing, innit? Like a couple times we were pressing, Liverpool played that very well, and they were. Like, let's be honest, Liverpool probably could have scored like 2 or 3 goals in the first half, innit? Like if we're really being honest. So that's one thing I thought we need to work on. What were your thoughts on that?
I agree, man. I think it's weird because I'm not gonna say it was the same as the Chelsea game. But do you remember when Ollie's first game when we beat Chelsea 4-0?
Yeah.
And Chelsea like peppered us in the first half. We got away with it. Liverpool didn't pepper us in the first half. When we attacked, we looked good when we attacked. I get it. But every time Liverpool did get in the final third, it kind of was like, you know, Diaz hit the post. He had 2 shots saved. Aaron said it perfectly. Like if one or two of them go in at 0-0, the game could change mentally for the players, because obviously it's the first game under Ten Hag. We go 1-0 down. How will the players respond? And I think that's what you've got to take from it in these sort of pre-season games. Small differences can mean completely different outcome. We got the other end 2 minutes later and take the lead. Players are then confident. They breathe it. And I just feel like today it was kind of maybe a mix of nerves combined with overexcitement. And I think that can be a bad blend, especially when you're playing for Ten Hag in your first game. Like Biz, I think even said like, Ty, they look a bit nervous in the first 5 minutes. And I feel like they don't want to make a mistake. They don't want to get anything wrong. But then at the same time, you want to be on the front foot. You want to show the manager that I can impress. I want to do this. And I think Man United just got caught out a few times there. And we've seen it with McTominay and Fred midfield. They get overrun. They get bypassed really quick. They vacate space in behind. So to have your first game with Ten Hag, you know, to want to impress, to getting caught out in the first 10 minutes, I'm not really surprised. I didn't expect us to come out and dominate the ball and start pinging loads of passes together. It's probably the start I expected. We just didn't concede, which was the positive, because then when we scored, the weights come off their shoulders and they were like, right, let's go and play my game and enjoy it. And look at it. We could say that we were bad in defensive transition. For me, I said to Said and Aaron just a moment ago that in terms of when we went forward, I actually felt like we could nearly score every attack. And I'm not getting gassed. I'm not trying to say, oh my God, but I was watching and I was like, every time we went forward, I was like, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? I've missed that vein. So the defensive transition was poor, but I feel like that's nerves mixed with excitement, and that will get better, man. That will get better.
But I also think it's probably just repetition, innit? Because let's be honest, Ten Hag's only really had them for 2 weeks. Like, there's going to be certain areas where he's going to be like, you have to be here, press here kind of thing, innit? And like, let's be honest, you're not going to get that muscle memory kind of thing in 2 weeks. Yeah. It's going to take time. I think he's only had the senior players for a week.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to put a downer on things, but I do feel like we may be on the receiving end of a beatdown if that is to continue. Because obviously, like you said, it's going to take time in it before everything gels into place. Obviously, like we saw in that first half, like I think there was one counter attack when it was like 4 on 2.
4 on 2,
I think it was that the one that Diaz hit the post?
Yep.
And obviously, Delo got a good block as well. So obviously, like they're just fine margins in it that on another day it could go really wrong for us. But obviously, it's just also a learning curve in it. And I'd rather us get all the dust like out the way right now in preseason than it be in the league. But I just feel like there will be a time in the league, man. We might just come up against, I don't know, like a Southampton, and they just have a lucky day where 3 shots, 3 goals. You know what I mean? But you know, but it's the risk taking in it. Like we haven't seen United really take risk taking, especially playing out from the back, and kind of saw that today, innit? And we can only excel on it, really, innit? So
make sure you guys like the video as well, because there's over 150 people watching. The next thing that I thought I wanted to touch on was maybe like plays that didn't necessarily stand out, because I thought Rashford wasn't amazing. I'll be honest. I didn't think Ahmad was great either, and I was excited to watch Ahmad.
I'm really agreeing with you. We're all agreeing today.
Elanga kind of disappointed me as well, I'll be
Yeah.
honest.
Mm-hmm.
Did you say Luke Shaw as well?
Yeah, because he got
Yeah.
beaten by that youngster in the first half, innit? That
Yeah.
Liverpool right back. I think that disappointed me a bit. Anyone else?
No, I think that's a good starting point. If we go through work
Yeah.
through them
Yeah.
anyway. Make sure you're liking the video, people. Make sure you're subscribing to Statman 6K and Trafford Tunnel for our stuff, me and Biz as well. Make sure you hit the subscribe button on there. I think what it is, right, with Rashford, and we were just having a very interesting conversation, right? And it's funny because you've got Sancho and Martial that we know that are IQ ballers, and you know that they're going to be intelligent. They know how to retain the ball. They seem to know when to release it and stuff like that. And I feel like with Ten Hag, that's the manager that's going to suit them perfectly. As you've seen, I know it's the first game. I don't want to get gassed, but you can see that they're all on the same wavelength. Now, for me with Rashford, he is that kind of X factor in terms of, yes, he's got the pace in behind like a Langa, and he could be like that Heung-min Son. However, like, what I saw today is the front two of Sancho and Martial looking complete, even when they weren't scoring or assisting. There was times Rashford got in the final third, should have scored when the ball got rolled back to him. Some of his decision-making was a bit off. And I'm starting to just think that, like with Rashford, I'm going to give him a chance 100% because I do believe that there's something hopefully still in there. But can his brain, is it one of them ones now at 24, 25? Can his brain step up to the level of Sancho and Martial? Because I just feel like mentally these guys are just a bit above Rashford, and I don't want it to be a thing where I'm like, oh, get rid of him just because he ain't on the same wavelength. Because he's not on the same wavelength, he could make up for it in other ways. But I feel like from that first game, you could just see that they look there, and Rashford just looks a little bit below. But then you've got Elanga that are below him, so it's like there's three stools. And I feel like Sancho and Martial are there, and with the way Rashford thinks, I just don't believe that like he's quite there with them yet. And I don't know if it's a good thing or if Ten Hag can change it and make it work in other ways. Biz, you're smiling. Do you get what I'm saying? Or not?
Do you know, I think he's up there with them, man, there, bruv. I just feel like it's just a confidence thing, innit? And you know what I mean, bruv? Like we said, innit, the first 10 minutes, bruv, like we were looking a bit shaky, innit? So I think like with Martial and Sancho, I wouldn't say there's much pressure on them to perform. I just feel like with Rashford, it's just like it's all eyes on him, really, innit, to step up out of all the others, because he's the only one that really regressed massively. That obviously Martial's progressed, innit, but he's had the season to try and come back, gone out on loan. It's not really worked for him. With Rashford, it's like he needs to really pick up. And
I'll be honest, I think
like
everyone needs to pick up,
Yeah, no. We all know that, innit? But on Rashford alone, like massively, like it's on him. You get me? Like he's got World Cup spots to try and win back, and do you know what I mean? Like I feel like the whole country's on his back, bro, to try and then like get back to where he was, innit? But I just feel like, yeah, cool. He wasn't great today, but it's a confidence thing, innit? Like we saw that chance he had in front of goal. Normally, bro, he's smacking. Do you know? I kind of when that shot come through, I kind of celebrated like this is in, because that normally he snaps on that.
Yeah, I thought he was just gonna wrap it bottom pin.
Yeah, wrap it. But the same as Sancho's, because the Sancho's shot that he had was kind of like a Rashford kind of finish. You know, at bottom, just low drilled, powerful. And I think it's just a confidence thing, innit? Like I feel like after that shot went missing, I think he just thought, you know what, let me just kind of play it safe. But I think it probably just needs a couple more, needs to get on the end of a couple of chances and probably get a couple of goals off his, and just get.
Do you believe he's set on the left? Do you think that's where his position is, Biz?
Yeah, I do think that's his position. To be fair, man, I don't mind him on the right. I just feel like Sancho looked a bit more comfortable there today, man.
But if we're being real, Sancho looks more comfortable on the left than him as well.
Yeah.
That's just the situation Rashford's at, in terms of, I've always said this. As much as I like Rashford, if you're being completely honest, is he United's best left-hand side player? The answer is no. Is he United's best right-hand side player? The answer is no. Is he United's best striker? The answer is no.
Do you know what it is? The dilemma we've got at the moment is that with Sancho, he's our probably best left winger. But because we haven't got a right winger and we need one, we're looking at it like Ten Hag is like, well, who's our best right winger if we haven't got one? Well, okay, we'll put Sancho in there because he's multifunctional. He can play there. He's got a good delivery as well. And he's got the IQ to drop in and go out wide and hug the touchline. So then it's like, okay, then this gives the space for Rashford and Elanga to play. If you don't play Sancho on the right and you play him on the left with Martial, then you're like, well, who plays on the right? And you don't feel as confident with anyone coming in. So I feel like Ten Hag's decision making today in terms of that team was right for what we have right now, because we don't have a right winger. Sancho's the best suited, I think, for the right.
It's the profiles of players that always talk about, innit? In terms of, other than maybe like a Elanga, who's probably in terms of ability worse than Rashford, that profile in terms of a goal scoring winger that's direct, runs in behind, we don't have.
Yeah, we don't.
Which is why, as much as I criticize Rashford, we really, really need Rashford to perform. The next thing I wanted to talk about was Donny, innit? Because I feel like Donny, the reactions be mixed on him, kind of thing, innit? Like, I think a lot of people expected him to start. I don't really care. Like, his preseason first game, they're all getting 45 minutes, kind of thing, innit? And I don't know. Like, throughout the game, I wouldn't say like I necessarily noticed Donny, because I think he only had 14 touches, kind of thing, innit? Second half, the team of Liverpool was a lot stronger that he came up against. But what did you make of him?
Donny was quiet for the majority, man. Let's be real. That, oh man, it's a hard one, isn't it? Because like, obviously, like, what this is going into his third season now. It's less than a handful of games where I can say, do you know what, Donny's actually been sick. I can only think of 3 games and I've been really impressed with him. And then, like, obviously today you're thinking, obviously, it's a big opportunity for you. I think maybe like the benefit of the doubt is that we didn't have a striker up top in the second half, so we didn't have anyone to really hold up the ball and anyone to have it to where it was sticking and we can play off. And I feel like Ahmad obviously didn't perform under that, playing in that kind of false nine-ish position as well. But I think Donny, I remember him having one like real like just touch from, I think it was from, I can't remember what the actual moment was, but it was a good touch where he got it out of his feet and just kept it kind of moving. That was the only moment I remember of him in that second half.
I feel like to see the best Donny van der Beek need a possession-based side, and let's be honest, in the second half, Liverpool had more of the ball in it. Like when people like Thiago, I think Fabinho came on, like you did expect them to dominate the game a bit more, especially like this is why I give a bit of leeway to like the second half players in terms of they kind of playing with the lesser ability players, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, it's not our first team kind of thing, innit? Like, most of my first team played in the first half, which is why I'm like, it's harder to judge, innit?
It's such a hard one to judge, man. That Keisha, I didn't know Biz had harshness in him. I love that. Friendly giant, man. But do you know what? It's such a hard... I'm like, Biz, man. I'm like, oh, like, because I know there's a player in there, right? And then I know you need rhythm. But today, obviously, he played with the second 11, and I could say that not many people could stand out. But then Zidane Iqbal still stood out when he was on the pitch, and he's 18. So, like,
but do you think it's a bit easier to stand out when you're going to be a bit deeper in midfield, that you can collect the ball a bit easier?
I get it. Yeah, I understand that. 100%, I understand that. And I'm not saying that Van der Beek, I'm not saying he was poor today. He was just quiet, like Biz said, but I don't think it's through his fault. However, like I look at Van der Beek, right, and I know that he's an intelligent footballer. He can play neat 1-2s. He can retain the ball well. When I look at what we're doing now, we've got McTominay and Fred. Then you're going to have, De Jong potentially coming in, and you've got Bruno and Eriksen. I just look at that midfield, right, and I'm just like, where does Van der Beek play? Because I don't think he's got the physicality enough to be a 10. I know you don't always have to be physical to be a 10, but a Premier League 10 is different to a La Liga or a Dutch 10. Do you get what I'm saying? And then I look at him as in a pivot, and I'm like, can he play in a pivot, or will it be De Jong? And then he'll put someone like a Fred in there because they've got that tenacity. They can win the ball back. They've got that grit in them. Like, and it's nothing against Donny van der Beek. I'm just trying to look at it and say, where does he start in this Manchester United midfield? And I can't iron a place down. It's like, you'll play some Europa League games, you'll play some Carabao Cup games, you might play in some games where we dominate at home, we're playing a lesser team, but I just don't know where, like, he's going to establish himself. And that's my question for you guys as well, man.
It's going to get more difficult for him as well when Eriksen comes in as well.
That's
where does he go, man?
Like I've always said, in my eyes, in the Premier League, he was never like a number 10 under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer just because we weren't having the ball. I think what could be interesting, maybe, I don't know, man, because with like, obviously, say De Jong does come in, I don't want to see a De Jong, Donny van der Beek pivot either.
No, do I?
But at the same time, I still There's something about Donny van der Beek in the pivot that I prefer more than in the 10, if that makes sense.
It was when him and Matic played together. I did think that was
Yeah.
quite bright. Do you remember they
Yeah.
had a couple games together, and I was like, do you know what? I like this pivot.
Yeah, but at the same time, like this is where I'm going to be like, you know what? Let me give it the benefit of the doubt. It's still the first game. Let's see how things go on, kind of thing, innit? Because you never know. Next game, Ten Hag might want to play him a bit deeper just to try stuff out. Like this is the importance of preseason. Like, who would have thought we would have seen Sancho playing on the right? Everyone thought Sancho would have been on the left, and then maybe an Alanga or a Pellistri Ahmad on the right.
And even so, it's like seeing Charlie Savage get the nod over James Garner today.
Yeah,
like, who kind of would have thought that Garner
That's
didn't
a big
even
one.
he didn't even get a minute today. So
Yeah, nor did
Kelleher's
Hannibal.
playing left
did he?
centre back.
yeah, Hannibal, Jesus Christ,
Hannibal
yeah,
didn't.
Hannibal,
Yeah, no, a lot of people
Garnacho,
thought Hannibal would.
yeah, Ethan Led. So there's still a lot of players to come into the mix now. So let's just see what happens in it. But yeah, with Donny, man, time is ticking, man. Let's be real, innit? Time's ticking on him, bruv, man.
Someone said Garner's injured.
Oh, okay. Maguire was out. Garner's injured apparently.
Okay.
I think Axel was injured as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, he was. Yeah,
Yes,
him and
yeah.
Maguire. as
Tellez,
well, yeah.
centre back. What?
Oh yeah.
I want to talk about the
Yo.
back line now because someone said thoughts on Varane. His passing was tidy. I had mixed reactions of Varane in it because I think Hodge, I wouldn't say like he was criticizing him, but he didn't say like he was amazing kind of thing, innit? So I want to see your reaction because I thought he done better than I thought, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I thought the first 5 minutes, I felt like he was just a bit wobbly, but not because he made mistakes. I just felt like he hasn't played for a while. Like it's one of them ones he needed the rhythm. But I thought the longer the half kind of went on, the better Varane kind of got. I just feel like he wasn't really committed in 1v1 duels. He wasn't tested aerially. I feel like it was quite hard to judge Varane because the only times Man United were tested defensively, like you said, Baines, were in transition, but then it's a bit chaotic because you're just trying to mark players. But in terms of Varane on the ball, in terms of him when it's just, in a solid position, I thought he was fine, man. He was just a 7 out of 10. I don't think he made many mistakes. And for me, it's just one of them ones that, like, even when he went down and he was holding his knee, I thought, oh, not again, man. Like, surely not. Like, Biz, I knew Biz must have been thinking, nah, I'm done with him. But I just need to see him be consistent, get a run of games because I actually feel like the ability's there. I do feel like we've got a centre-back there. A lot of people do question his passing. I don't think his passing is that bad. I just, if you're there and you're defending well and you're passing the ball to next man, you've done your job. You're not in there to, be the creative passer. You're there to be a defender, and that's what you are. So I'm not really worried about the defensive side of Varane. I think it's just staying fit, and we'll see him grow.
What do you think about Lindelof? I think
Steady
Lindelof,
Eddie.
Yeah, steady Eddie, innit? Yeah, do you know what I mean? Fish and chips on a Friday, you can't go wrong. Like,
just ordinary.
I thought most of our back line, other than Erik Bailly, who touch on, were just steady Eddies kind of thing, innit? Like that's the best.
Dano went on that little run, hit the post and that.
Yeah, that's the best way I could really like describe the back line. And I'll touch on the hair as well because I want to touch on him. But Bailly, that 45 minutes of Erik Bailly was very, very impressive. But at the same time, I think I sent Ty a message in the group chat where it was like, Bailly hype because you just know the guy will be injured in the next 2 games, innit? But at the same time, and I think he went down 10 minutes after, innit? And I was like, okay. But that's the frustrating thing with Erik Bailly because in my eyes, I think he's, in terms of when he's fully fit, in terms of ability, he's comfortably top 10 centre backs in the league in my eyes, pushing that top 8 bracket.
Yeah.
Injury record, frustrating as hell. He's literally made of glass kind of thing, innit? But then you see performances like that and you're just like, if we could get Erik Bailly fully fit for 1 season, what a defender we have. But there's so many question marks of him kind of thing, innit?
Honestly, like, people know I love Martial, but I love Erik Bailly, Uncle Erik. Like, I just, you know what, a big up 15, who obviously jumps on with us sometimes. Availability is the best ability, and I understand it. I just feel like Erik the Rock Bailly, like, for me, when you look at overall centre-backs at our club and you put every attribute together, what you want from modern centre-back, he's number 1, above Varane, 100%. The tenacity, the bravery, he can read the game well. He's brave.
He's run for the goal.
Yeah, he's run for the goal. Like, I know he's a bit erratic at times, and people say that, he loses concentration sometimes and he's a bit erratic. Now, for me, if they're your 2 biggest negatives, and I just said this to Saeed as well, if they're your 2 biggest negatives as a centre-back, I am cool with that. because concentration can be worked on because that comes with rhythm and starting games. Being erratic, look at Bruno today, much calmer on the ball. You can change that. It's not like he's slow. It's not like he gets beaten in the air. It's not stuff that you'll see happen to him all the time. In terms of him actually as a defender, brilliant. Darwin Noodles today got absolutely nothing against him. Eric Bailly was nipping in, intercepting the ball brilliantly. I just feel like he's a centre-back that a lot of fans have said, you know what, sell him and pack it in. There's a reason why the players at the club love him. Ollie still kept him around because I feel like if there's a player that is fully fit and you can rely on someone like Eric Bailly, the bar is high, man. And I feel like in terms of 3 players today that impressed me the most, of course, Sancho and Martial. But in terms of Eric Bailly, he goes in there as my third. And I do believe that, you know, if you needed to show yourself to Erik ten Hag in your first game because you're potentially going to be sold or teams are going to be in for you, that is the perfect advert. You could not have proven yourself any better. Like what he couldn't have done anything more for me on his first game to show Ten Hag. Do you know what?
Like he was a man of the match from the second half of plays.
100%.
Yeah,
he put his hand up and could be counted. And one
the
thing
only thing is,
the
only thing is about Bailly, obviously, apart from the injury records and a bit of erraticness, he's unpredictable, man. Like, you see with that run he made, innit? Like, it's all good and well doing that in pre-season, but you see when you're doing that in the Premier League games, yeah, and we're getting caught out, it's another thing. And I'm telling you now, Ten Hag would have definitely have sat him down and said, listen, I know you're excited, you're back in the team, you're playing, but just keep it simple, innit? Like, for now, innit, we're building something, innit? And like, bruv, I love that about Bailly. He's a madman, innit? And obviously, every team needs a madman, innit? But it's just the unpredictability.
It's like our Koulibaly and Rudiger, innit?
Wary of. Go on, say again.
He's like our Koulibaly Rudiger, innit?
yeah.
No, but this is where I talk about profiles of defenders, though. Like his profile as a defender, we don't have, which is why he's so important to the squad. Same way I think Rashford is important when he's on his day, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like who's that aggressive centre back that we have, kind of thing?
Yeah, we don't. Varane's definitely not. Maguire, Lindelof. We always say they're pussies, aren't they?
Like you can maybe put Maguire because I do think Maguire is semi-aggressive kind of thing, innit?
Yeah,
even though he might get caught out when he steps in, kind of thing, innit? But Bailly is the most aggressive centre back we have, and let's be honest, we've always said it. If everyone's fully fit, the centre back partnership that everyone probably does want to see is Varane and Bailly. Maybe you do worry about them on the ball and stuff, which I 100% hear. But in terms of like their profiles, like you kind of do want to see them
complement each other, don't they?
Yeah.
One's aggressive, one can slot in, and we know Varane's best position is kind of being a sweeper. I know he's lost a bit of pace, but I would be excited to see him there. And also the risk of injury is less as well because then he's not having to engage so much because he's got someone aggressive next to him. I'm intrigued to see because we've got 4 or 5 games left of preseason. If we don't see the Bailly-Varane partnership, I'll know it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
This next 5 games is where I'm going to be like, right, let's see if he does play them together. Because we've got to remember, Maguire's one was injured. He's going to come back in. He's going to get minutes. So we're probably going to play 2 centre-backs over 2 halves. So that makes 4 centre-backs. Do you know what I mean? So I'd love them to have a game together. I'm just hoping that, like, Ten Hag is seeing kind of what we're seeing as well. Because if he has, it's exciting for us as fans. I'm not trying to get too carried away, but the people that we wanted to perform did. And that's a positive for me. The Martial performance, which we know he's under pressure. The Sancho performance, which you know is under pressure. Eric Bailly, we know he could be leaving the club. He performs. Do you know what I mean? And then it's kind of the players, not saying that we wanted to sort of struggle, but Rashford kind of showed that he hasn't, he didn't kick on today, but he might come back another day. McTominay and Fred showed times where they're exposed. And it's kind of the things that you want to see. And I think that's why I said I'm happy that we won 4-0, but there's still areas that flagged up that Ten Hag could be like, do you know what? We need to work on this. And I love that he said, do you know what? There was loads of mistakes and it's going to take time. That's what you want. Imagine you come out and said that everything was great. Yeah, everyone put in a 10 out of 10. You'll be like, oh, stop running the soap story, man. He actually said, no, do you know what? Still stuff I need to see. We won 4-0 and what? I love that attitude.
Do you know what? Yeah, see if obviously Martinez looks one of the most likely to happen. Who do you think is the centre back that's going to drop out? Because Bailly's just put a massive spanner in the works today, man.
I don't think Bailly starts though. Still, like this is where I think like competition for places, whoever performs and merits the best thing. Because I've always said this. For example, like when the Bruno Eriksson debate, whoever performs, just let them play.
Yeah.
And this is where, like, don't get me wrong, I do expect if you sign Martinez for 40, 50, 60 million, for him to be the starting centre back. But it's kind of like you never know. He might not settle into the Premier League the best. You might need to play Bayern and Lindelof together or something, innit? Or just change something up. So let's see what happens. But anyway, make sure you guys like the video as well. Yeah, I'm on you, Cass. I'll do it after the stream because my brain can't do two things at once.
Yeah, I modded you on Trafford Tunnel as well, Cass. Actually, yeah, I get mad confused. I'm like, what's going on?
Do you know what? Just on centre backs as well. Obviously, there's still Axel Tanzebi that's still part of the squad as well. Obviously, another injury-prone centre back, but he's another one. But if he puts a performance in as well, that could be 6 centre backs at the clubs right now.
Yeah, but this is the problem. Like the stakes at Manchester United are so high right now. When a new manager comes in at any club, you have to bang straight away. Now, if you look at Axel, Bailly's performed. Maguire is still club captain. You're looking at Varane. Varane's still Varane. Lindelof done all right. It's going to be hard to claim your place. Like you're going to perform. You're going to have to perform better than Bailly to even be in the consideration for maybe the third choice centre back.
Do you know what? It's only now, yeah. I know you lot said this a few weeks ago, but it's just making me think he might actually go use it, going back to a back three as a plan B.
I think we have to see in pre-season what he does, because this is the perfect time, obviously to try stuff in it. But I don't know, man. I still feel like he sticks to that 4-2-3-1 because I think he has been working on it.
It's interesting. Do you know what? Yeah, even to touch on another sort of not weakness, but something I was a bit. I thought the wing backs were okay. I didn't feel like anyone. I didn't come away from that game and think anyone stamped their authority down. Dalot was okay. Wan-Bissaka was right.
Malacia?
Luke Shaw was average, and I thought Malacia, he got caught at the ball a couple times, then he fought back. I think me and Biz on the phone at this point, and then he won the ball back, went down the touchline. I think with Malacia, you got to just let that slide. That's like a first game syndrome. You're nervous. You're playing for Manchester United. I think what we'll see him is just one of them players that grows over the season. But what I like is that you've got someone that's going to be willing to challenge Luke Shaw. You can tell already that he's not here to sort of carry the flag. Do you know what I mean? He's not here to do that. He wants to be, 100% starting for Manchester United in the long run. But it's like the Van der Beek situation. A lot of players in the B team did kind of struggle today. Even Elanga, Ahmad, I thought was quite poor. I thought Zidane Iqbal was the only one with Erik Bailly that could sort of stand out in the second half and say they really held it. So, with Malacia, I thought it was just a steady debut. I want to see him. I want to see him in the first 11 start. So, say if we start a first 11 again on Friday, I wouldn't mind if he made a couple changes and it was like Malacia for Shaw and then maybe Bailly for Lindelof. If I made 2 changes, I wouldn't mind seeing that and just saying, do you know what? Keep the rest the same. I wouldn't actually mind that. Gets a bit of rhythm and we can see what Malacia can do going forward, because his biggest trait, Malacia, is going forward. When you had a team like that today, you said it, Baines, we didn't really have the ball. So when he couldn't go forward, so you need to see him when we're actually attacking. He's got Sancho cutting in or Rashford and he can overlap and stuff. So you just got to get the game right.
Facts. Next thing I wanted to touch on was De Gea, because everyone knows I criticize De Gea a lot, innit? But today, I could still say, you know what? I think he done very well today.
Yeah.
I know, I saw a couple people get onto De Gea, but I thought this is the stuff that obviously may not be as good as maybe Alisson or Edison are doing these things, but at least he tried, which is why I can never fault him, kind of thing, innit? Same thing I always say about Lloris. I don't think Lloris is the perfect modern day keeper, but he's trying to make it work. He's trying to improve. And that's what I saw with David De Gea today. The first half, 19 out of 22 passes completed. There was probably 3-4 times where I think I saw him coming off his line and I was like, raw.
Second half as well, he come off his line well, man.
And that's where I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to apologize to De Gea now. As I say, October, let me see. As time goes on, we can fully judge these players, but this is a good start for De Gea. This is all the stuff I've been asking for.
Do you know what though? You see with De Gea, bro, I've always said, innit, you see goalkeepers, bro, they peak late, innit? De Gea's at 31, 32. This is the keeper's age now, innit, where they're maturing. They're at, you know what I mean? That's the level they're moving up now, where they're going to be in full peak level. So I feel like now, obviously, he knows, obviously it's not been great for him, and he's more or less lost his place in the Spain squad, not even as a first team keeper. He's not even in the squad. So he knows, innit, pressure's on for him as well, and potentially his Man United career could be done this time next year. So he knows he's got to excel and just step his game up now. And yeah, today, bro, man, was a kickstart of hopefully something new with him, and you know, like I said, he's getting older now, so yeah, man. Yeah, that's the performance today was decent, innit? And obviously, like you said, 19 out of 22 passes. I didn't even clock that, you know, like that is pretty impressive for De Gea. So yeah, man, that's just onwards and upwards for him. Hopefully.
Yeah, you didn't really see him like hoofing the ball out, which sometimes he does. Like he looked like, even if it didn't always come off, he was trying to find that pass. He was trying to look for someone, and it looks like it's been clear that Ten Hag, you know, is trying to get him better on the ball. Because I read something maybe yesterday. I think it was James Ducker from the Telegraph, and he said that in training drills, even though the keepers are not so much involved with their hands, in terms of their feet, De Gea and the other keepers, like that younger Mate or Vatrik, whatever it is, yeah, that's it, Kova, that's it. They're involved, but with their feet. And it just shows that, like, even if you're not involved by saving the ball, he's trying to get you playing in the drills as a player. And I like that because...
Was it the first training videos we don't watch? And De Gea was like in the boxes with it. Tom Heaton.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? It's just little things like that, just giving a bit of that confidence. I'm not going to say like we're going to see drastic changes from De Gea. But one thing I think as Manchester United fans have got to realise is De Gea is staying, and De Gea is going to be the number one keeper for this season. So there's no point, you know, I don't like to waste my words, Baines. You know what I'm like? Like, if we're not going to get a player in, I'm not going to sit here talking about we need this, we need that, because he's staying. We're not getting a keeper. De Gea is going to be the number one, and we need to see if he can adapt and, you know, and improve under Ten Hag. I do feel like it'll be a short lead, though. If it's something we don't see over the next 12 months, I wouldn't be surprised if the next summer we're then looking for a David Raya or Mike Maignan or, you know, Robert Sanchez or whoever Ten Hag might have his eye on in the European leagues. So, yeah, just like for Inter, isn't it? But yeah, in regards to it, like I'm not worried about De Gea. I'm kind of just happy that within himself, he trusts himself. I think that's De Gea's biggest thing, you know. I think self-mentality with De Gea. I feel like the ability is there for shot stopping, but I feel like he's a bit weak at times and a bit of a wuss. He needs to just say, right, I'm going to come out, I'm going to win that ball, I'm going to get off my line. And if he does it, his performances will improve. I just don't think he backs himself too much.
I also do think he does struggle in terms of the ability side of it as well, though, which is why I know why he's nervous kind of thing, innit? Like, even like sometimes when David here comes out for sweeping, and he done it a couple of times last year where he's like, it don't fill you with confidence, even though he's doing the right thing, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I hear you. Even when he comes to grab the ball, sometimes I feel like the attacker's going to get there before him in that.
Yeah. What is this guy on?
I don't know. Haj man. All I got to say to you, baby, everyone knows it. We've been doing prop. We're back, baby. Yeah.
I don't know what Haj is on in the chat, but listen.
Let me make it quickly clear, Haj. Haj, I just say it to you earlier. I kind of came for you a little bit. Martial and Sancho were both good. You don't need to say Sancho is better than Martial. Enjoy both together. We've been sick and tired of people comparing and doing all that. Haj, enjoy both. Our ball is cooked. Sleep good tonight. Get your fan on and rest up, my G.
Big 11 as well in the chat. And make sure you guys like the video as well.
Yeah, like, man. Do that for need 100 likes on. How many we on? Let me check.
Homie scored a chip versus toddlers. This is another thing I want to say.
Allison, since when Allison turned toddler? Yo, what on?
You know what I want to say? You know what I want to say, yeah? I'll get onto this. You see Grizz. I agree. Everyone likes Grizz here, but come on, man. You see his tweet before the game saying United are playing the first, the strongest 11.
I see a few, but I see Monts as well. I even see Monts saying it as well. What, United playing the first? They tried
the psychological thing. What you saying now?
Do you know what? Listen. Yeah, you know something as well. We see with these Liverpool fans, yeah, because do you remember when they battered us 4-1 3 years ago in I think it was LA, and we had the kids out. Didn't say nothing then, did they? And when they battered, I think they battered Barcelona that same preseason 4-0 at Wembley. Barca had the kids out. They didn't say nothing. But to see today, talking about they've got the kids out and we got the come on, it's preseason.
They put in the big gun, by the way, in the second half. What was the score in the second half?
We still beat them
1-0.
You know what's bad? I tweeted Grizz here saying, "Yo, like you lot played the last 30 minutes with your strongest side, and he still couldn't beat us." He deleted his original tweet then.
Yeah, he could.
I was waiting for Grizz to reply in it. And the thing is, I'm not even gassed about the result. But how are you coming at a manager for picking a team that he thinks that he just wants to see? Because this is Ten Hag's first game, and you're coming at Ten Hag. Shut your mouth, man. I ain't having Ten Hag.
I know why Haji's upset as well. I just clocked because he's a Liverpool fan deep down. Remember?
Of course, this guy's crying. Klopp lost. But Emmanuel said, big up Emmanuel, he said, Shaw had an injury scare in the first half, you man concerned. The only excuse I get pre-season, like, that's it. But I think Shaw's injury record as a whole, I think everyone's concerned with, isn't it?
That's why we got Malacia. Someone even said it. Like, I think when he went down in the first half, someone was like, this is why we signed Malacia. He's going to get more minutes than he thought because of injuries like that. That's what people don't take into account. Positions that you're signing for, what's the player they're replacing? Sure, very injury prone. Do you know what I mean? So we know Malacia is going to get minutes. So I'm not worried because we signed Malacia. That's what makes you not feel worried, basically.
No, but I still... Like, you want Shaw fit kind of thing,
I want him fit. 100%. I want him fit. Yeah, man. Yeah.
Hard to top, bro, but which one? We don't know. This guy was
praying
Liverpool in the Champions League final, isn't it?
Big up Levin as well, shouting out. See, I like that. Levin come with good energy. He said, your boy played well. Thank you, Levin. Your food's in no way in the delivery, man. Don't worry. I'll look after
this guy.
I love it. I just love seeing Biz's smile, man. I have to make him smile.
Is there anything else that we need to talk about before we wrap this up? In terms of
do you know what?
Oh yeah, Maguire captaincy quickly, because obviously I ain't done a show in a week.
Yeah,
I ain't spoke about that.
On that, I think Ten Hag said what he had to say. Okay, I get it. He said about the successful captain. Like, that's bullshit. I just feel like he got his language a bit mixed up there. But in terms of Maguire, he can't come in after 2 weeks and change the captaincy. What he said, and what people are clickbaiting, he said that Maguire is the club captain. But he didn't say, like, oh, he's going to be my captain this season. He said, I still got to get to know the players, get to know the personalities. Damn right. He can't just come in and change a captain when he doesn't even know the players yet. So come on, guys, think, man, about it. I get it, like, obviously what Ten Hag's saying, and people are just using it as like, oh, all of a sudden, he's our captain for the season. I'm not buying all that yet. We've got to look at the performance today. Maguire wasn't there. If Maguire is not playing and we're winning games, Maguire isn't going to play. I'm not worried, man. And Darwin Noodles, by the way, was absolutely shocking compared to Martial. That was one striker's performance in the first half. The second half was, me back in my under-9 days. So there we go.
One thing I would say on Nunes, as much as everyone's laughing at him, every striker misses chances kind of thing, innit? You can only really judge.
What else was he bringing, though? I just saw him shooting. I didn't see him doing no.
No, I know that, yeah, but we know the type of player Nunes is. But you buy Nunes for his in-box abilities kind of thing. Today, in the box, he was poor. He had that chance, should have scored. But over a 38-game season, if he doesn't get over 20 goals, then that's when people are really going to be onto him kind of thing, innit? Because that's...
What's your bar? What are you saying from 20 goals in the league?
I say 20 goals overall.
Wait, Jota got 15 in the league, didn't he?
Because I just don't feel like he's going to start many games, man. I said this from the minute they bought him. I know they spent 85 million on him. I don't feel like he's going to play a lot for them, man. I still think Jota or maybe in Firmino, bro. Like, they've already got that system, but they've lost a massive player in Mane. I don't care what anybody says. Losing Mane is going to be massive for Liverpool, especially with that front three, the way it's been mashing up teams for the last 3-4 years. I feel like changing.
Do you think they could be trouble for second? Just random. Do you think?
Yeah, I think possibility. They could be. I mean, Chelsea are knocking at the door. We know Spurs and Conte aren't. Bruv, you see the way Conte had Son nearly passing out in front of the South Korean people. He's brave, blood. He's brave. So
that is a real hard, by the way.
Is it real?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, you're right. You know what? Tottenham are going to be breathing down their necks. We've got to see what they do.
Yeah. But with the Nunes thing, I don't feel like he's going to be playing week in, week out, man. I just feel like losing Mane and then bringing in Nunes, someone different, is too much. It's too much change. I just feel like he will blend in it, like here and there, in it. But I don't feel like he'll be the number 9 from the direct off. I'll be very surprised if Klopp does it, to be fair. But I do think he'll get 20 goals overall, innit?
I think he needs minimum 15 in the league, personally. What are you trying to do?
No, I just got to let people... I'm proud of him today. Like I said, I got a bit teary earlier, but I just feel like he deserves to be closer to the screen, if you get what I'm saying. So I've just got to keep him there for a minute. Oh, there you go. I'll put it back now. He knows. Had just come round to it.
He's lying. On the Maguire captaincy, quickly, I'll be honest, I had no problem with it. Like, as much as we wanted a change in the captaincy, he kind of did say that he's kind of like the established captain in terms of he's already the captain, isn't it? But I think there's still potentially a place for him to change it, if that makes sense. Because he had that
okay, James, does it bother you if he's captain and he starts if he's playing shit. If he's captain and doesn't always play because the other players better, then I don't mind. But if that means because he's captain he plays, then I'll have a problem with it.
But
you get what I'm saying?
that's not even just me having a problem with obviously Maguire and the captaincy. That's any single player. If any single player is playing bad and they're continuously playing, then I have a problem. For example, say Ronaldo, for example. Let's just use that. If Ronaldo's playing bad for 5 games in a row, and then Ten Hag doesn't bring in someone like Martial, for example, or another striker, then that's on Ten Hag. Like, you can't just continuously blame the player for playing bad. I said it about Ralph and Maguire last year. Maguire was continuously playing bad. And then for Atletico, the game against Atletico, I think he cost us a goal with a João Felix header kind of thing, innit? That's not on Maguire, because we know Maguire has been making mistakes over the last 4 or 5 weeks during that period. That's on Ralph for continuously picking him.
Yeah.
That's where I'm like, if he's still the captain and Ten Hag still continuously picking him, that's on Ten Hag.
Yeah, let's be real, innit? None of us really wanted Maguire as captain, but we can't agree with everything that Ten Hag's going to do. Same thing with Fergie, innit? When he made Gary Neville captain, everybody was like, what's going on, bro? Like, there's still a bag of other man that you could have made captain, but you made Gary Neville captain. And to be fair, around that time, Gary Neville hardly played. Obviously, he was out injured for the majority of it, but he hardly played, but he was still like the club captain, innit? It is what it is, and as long as the boys do what they have to do on the pitch,
as long as they're doing what they're doing on the pitch, like today. Perfect start. I'm going to go and eat my dinner and I'm going to absolutely love it today. I'm going to watch the highlights. I'm going to watch the dink finish. Big up Sancho as well. And one thing, by the way, I want to just quickly touch on Sancho is that I love that he had that selfish element in him today, because normally he wouldn't do that. And I've always said that, yes, with Haaland and that, you've got players running in behind in the Bundesliga. You're always going to create chances there, because I feel like the league's easier. When you're here as a Manchester United player, there's got to be an element of you that we know you're unselfish. We know you're a team player, but grab some moments yourself and say, do you know what? I'm going to shoot. I'm going to cut in and beat my man, and I'm going to do something. Today, he got the ball, he shot, wrapped it bottom bins. Someone like him, perfect for his confidence, man. So shout out Sancho and Martial, man. They're really, him, Martial and Bailly they can sleep really good tonight. Viking tonight is prawns, egg fried rice, and some salad, man. Some nice. We make some home fried egg fried rice and all them things there. So it's nice tonight.
Look at this guy living good, yeah.
I know you two got banging dinners weekly.
Nah, man.
I reckon Biz, I'm not gonna lie, I reckon Biz is a banging chef, you know, innit, Biz?
Got chicken curry still.
Yeah. Biz can definitely cook up. He can cook us up something one day.
Next game's a Friday, isn't it?
No, my stream, next stream.
No, next game.
United. Oh, next game. Sorry. Yeah, Friday, 11 o'clock.
Who playing again?
Melbourne.
No, I'm not in Boston now. Like, I came back yesterday, by the way.
Yeah, we're playing Melbourne, 11 o'clock.
Flipping, yo.
How's Merto?
Team, innit? Merto, he's good. He's getting the deal done, innit? Flew me out.
As well, yeah?
I said he flew me out.
Of course, man. Merto, Richard Arnold, we had a little link up and that.
Yeah.
Mission accomplished. That's all I'm saying, innit? De Jong will be coming.
Soon come, man. De Jong getting the ball off the back four.
Laporte's under manners, yeah?
Listen, don't worry, man. Don't worry.
Okay,
we'll talk soon, innit? Talk soon. Mission accomplished. That's all I'm saying. De Jong will be a United player, innit? And if he ain't, then flipping out. But I can't lie, I'm very confident.
Donny, what's Donny doing over there, man?
Yeah, enjoying today, innit?
Oh, wow. So he's going to be playing against us, yeah?
Oh, okay.
Because he was with that Venezia team, I swear, last year.
Yeah, that's it, the Italian.
Yeah, he was.
And I think before that, he was in
Orlando, that's it. Orlando Pirates.
So we'll see what happens on Friday, but
yeah, man.
Anything else you want to plug before we wrap this up?
I'll quickly try and do it for an hour. Wraps up, right? So to people, make sure you're liking this video. Make sure you're subscribing to Statman. Big up all you guys in the comments every single time. Subscribe to Trafford Tunnel, the blue link below. That's where me and Biz are, and obviously Cass and Sarfo and all that as well. That's our Manchester United content. I just done a show with Saeed, so go back and watch that if you want as well. And then tomorrow, Baines is on with Marcel from the United View and Sarfo and our Biz as well. That's at 5:30 tomorrow. So make sure you lock in tomorrow, where we'll probably just have a sleep on it and then talk about the game a bit more and see what others have got to say as well. So yeah, man, keep supporting, and then big up Viking and everyone that's locked in as well. Always supporting, man.
Biz, anything else you want to say?
Yeah, man, just like and subscribe up the team. Make sure you follow us all on all the socials, Twitter, Instagram, and that. Hit notification bell so you don't miss any show that coming up. And yeah, man, onwards and upwards, bruv, man. What we saying? Quadruple, yeah?
I swear in pre-season we can win 2 more trophies.
Oh, that's the treble, yeah? Come on, let's go. Let's
Come
go.
on, man.
Let's go.
We're collecting,
Let's
man.
go.
Show me the
Let's go.
money, man.
Yeah, all right, cool. Come on.
Hey, what are we saying? We're doing a trophy parade for this year, you know? We might as well if Liverpool doing trophy parades for Carabao Cups, but
yeah, might as
hey,
well. Come. Let's
we'll
go.
see it. Like when I go to that game against Real
wait,
Vallecano,
I
I
just
better see the trophies on show.
Quickly, wait, what was it? Who was man of the match again? I forgot.
Sancho for me.
Sancho.
No, who was the official man of the match? I'm just.
This guy is so shameless.
Oh, there he is. Who's calling me? Who's calling?
Big up Anas as well.
Oh,
trophy
Anas,
collectors. That's what we're doing.
man.
That's what we're doing. But make sure you guys like the video. Comment your thoughts on the first game. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to Trafford Tunnel and Never a Foul. And I'll be back soon, innit? Maybe Thursday with Saeed. And whenever Hodge is about, because the guy's very lazy, but we'll see. But big up, everyone.
Big up.